I am a dunce in the highest degree. And here is why. Some time back, while sharpening a tool of some sort, rather than using due caution with my sharpening stones, I set my heaviest grit sharpening stone down on top of my vise, on the corner of my vise no less, rather than setting it down on a nice flat surface. I proceeded to follow that up by bumping the workbench and, of course, knocking the sharpening stone down to the floor. Not onto a pillow, but onto the concrete floor. Immediately my sharpening stone multiplied. It became 3 sharpening stones, and I've been beating myself up since then. Since that time, I've been trying to figure out how to salvage this sharpening stone. Yes, I could just go out and buy another one, but it came in a set of 3. So in order to buy another one, I'm going to have to buy another set of 3. So while watching somebody else's video about making a holder for their sharpening stones, it occurred to me that I can do the same thing, only a little bit differently. Since my sharpening stones are about medium sized, they're both small enough to bring the stone to the tool, as well as big enough, kind of, to bring the tool to the stone. So I'm going to build 3 little holders, one for each of my stones, that will be both small enough to pick up and bring the stone to the work, but secure enough to put the holder in a vise and bring the work to the stone, with the added benefit of holding together my 3-piece heavy grit sharpening stone. I'll start out with this piece of pallet wood here. There seems to be quite the craze of people building things with the pallet themselves, but I'm kind of digging the whole pallet thing for the fact that it's essentially free building materials. Pick up a pallet and deconstruct it carefully, and you've got all the 1-bys and 2-bys, well, maybe not all, but got a lot of 1-bys and 2-bys for, well, my favorite price, free. First I'll cut off the nasty end of this board. Now I'll mark and cut off 1 3/8 inches. Now I'm going to cut this off with about 1/4 inch to spare in the length. I'll be able to fit 2 of them right here. Now I'm going to clean up the surface of this a bit with my hand plane. Something to point out is if you don't have a proper carpenter's bench, what with pegs and all that business, like I don't just yet, one way to keep your work from running all over the place is just take a thin piece of wood and just nail it down to your workbench with some little finishing nails or little ring shank nails of some sort. But one thing that you want to make sure to do is to nail the heads of them lower than the piece that you're working on. You don't want to get past there and hit the nail with your plane. I'm only going to do that much since I'm not even going to use this side. It's got some knots in it, and so I'm going to just use this side that is free of the knots because I'm going to do some chiseling. Here's the 1/4 inch clearance I'm going to give this, and 1/4 inch on the bottom. So with that corner made, now I'm going to set my stone on here in the corner. I'm going to piece it back together very carefully. And then I will mark it. Now with that marked, I'll start chiseling this out.
And now that it's fairly roughed out, here's where our router plane comes in handy. You can see how this router plane keeps that chisel all at the same depth, allowing us to make a nice smooth recess here. And now on the bottom, an inch from bottom edge, right here, I'm going to cut a slot, and I'm going to rabbet that guy in there, about like so, so that I have something to grab onto when I have it in the vise. Now that my glue's set up, I will go ahead and cut off the unused part of this thing. And now with the sharpening stone press fit in, my 3-piece sharpening stone is once again one piece. And I can either put in the vise to sharpen tools, or I can take it out of the vise and bring the stone to the tool in the case of an axe or similar. Now I still have 2 more of these little jobbies to make in order to accommodate my whole sharpening system, my 3-piece sharpening system. But the important part is that this one is successful and it's holding my broken, unusable sharpening stone back together. It has been salvaged. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful out there to somebody with a broken sharpening stone. If you've been counting the Rube Goldberg line of projects in order to get to the big one, this makes 2. Built this thing. In order to build this thing, we're almost there. Stay tuned. Watch the channel, and before too awful long, I'll get that next one cooking, and you can come along with me. Thanks a lot for watching. Click the thumbs up if you like it. Click subscribe down there, maybe down there, wherever it is. And if you know somebody that you think would like this, share it with them. Thanks again. See you next time.